Hey guys, welcome to week 3 of program development and grants. I hope from last week you guys are starting to pick up a little bit of a rhythm moving into week 3. Last week we really started to kind of try to look at needs within the agency that you picked, try to develop some ideas for your proposal that you'll be doing at the end of the class. So I'll be providing you guys with a lot of feedback for your discussions and also for your assignment. Now, in the assignment, we were doing funding searches, and I hope there are some things I hope came through for things, observations you probably made for the funding search assignment. I figure you noticed in SPIN there are a lot of research opportunities in there. A lot of it's research grants or something. That's not uncommon anytime you look for funding, and no matter whether you're Googling or using a database like SPIN. There's a lot of, especially federal funding out there, push toward research. So I know that doesn't help you as sometimes a social worker in a nonprofit agency, but that falls more into my realm. In my day job at Concord, with the grants, we end up doing some research grants as well. So that's something out there you really have to kind of look at. Research grants usually don't fit well into the nonprofit world for kind of what you guys are looking for. And I hope you took my advice and looked at eligibility. That's the first place I always look when I'm looking at any funding opportunity is, are we even eligible to apply? So that's, another observation. Grants are sometimes cyclic. Sometimes you may have seen some older ones in there, but sometimes those are in there because they are reoccurring. So it might be an annual funding opportunity. Once the federal, especially federal grants, once the federal budget gets renewed, the federal grant year starts October 1. You'll see a lot of, funding opportunities be circle back for the next year. So just a couple observations there. Moving into week 3, we're really going to start to hammer down on your idea. For your proposal. Okay, now remember, you are applying to this fictional proposal, and if you haven't done so yet, I really encourage you to look at the proposal tab that is right under the weekly module tabs in the class. That has all the information in there, the request for proposal, all the forms, all of that. Start working on it as we go, because these discussions are intended to help you build the components of that proposal, so use it to your advantage. Okay, so this week the reading will focus around chapter 9. A little bit light on the reading this week, but there are some handouts in the module, as well as a really good video on goals and objectives that I really encourage you to look at, because this week in our discussion we're going to start formulating those goals and objectives. Goals and objectives are a huge part of grant writing, because the funding agency wants to see that you what you're moving toward and exactly how you're going to do it. So don't forget that, and the video kind of hits on this as well, that goals are like overall the broad concept of what you want to accomplish, or there might be 2 or 3 things that you maybe want to accomplish with this grant. Then the goal, the objective is it's a little bit more specific about how you'll accomplish that major goal. So there may be several objectives to that one goal. So you have goal 1, you may have objective 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, and these are usually measurable so that the funding agency can see, as you report on your project, that okay, they have accomplished this on goal 1, they've accomplished objective 1 and 2. They still have 3 to go. So it has to be very objective. So SMART objectives become a very important part of formulating a really strong proposal. So there's a handout on SMART objectives. That is an acronym for the components of a good objective. So be sure to check that out, because it will be helpful in formulating your objectives. Okay, and working towards that. If you have any questions or have trouble, just please contact me. We can talk it through. Sometimes it's easier just to have a quick phone call and talk through some of the concepts you may be worried about, and we can get you on the right track. Also, part of this week that you start to formulate your evaluation, because you're talking about your goals and objectives, and exactly how you're going to implement those goals and objectives. But then on the flip side of that, you have to address how you will evaluate that you are meeting those objectives, how it's going, basically. So hopefully the reading will help facilitate that as well. But like I said, if you have questions, please reach out. We don't have a second assignment this week, so woohoo. It's one less thing. So really I want you to focus on these goals and objectives this week. Really take it to heart and really work on those goals and objectives and move forward. One word of caution with your proposal, just to mention, sometimes we think very broad in our concepts, the things we want to do. Be sure that your idea, your concept for your proposal is something that is not too big. And what I mean by that is, if you have a project that you want to take statewide, well, for purposes of this class, it may be a little, that may be a little bit counterproductive for you, in that, keep in mind that we're actually going to work on a budget for this as well. So you want to have this at a scale where it is easier for you to provide, budgetary numbers for it, because you'll have to have a budget and a budget narrative explaining exactly how you're going to spend all this money. So just kind of keep that in mind as you're thinking about your goals and objectives. You may want to think a little bit ahead and start, gathering some numbers, and remember, a budget is just that, is a projection. It is what you intend to spend. I always tell people, I always err on the side of caution with budgets when I do them. They might be a little bit inflated, but I'd rather have a little bit more in there than not enough. Okay, so there is also some information in the proposal section about budgets. Okay, about the budget, and we'll be working on that, I think, in the next week. So be sure to just keep that in mind while you're formulating your project. Let's not scale it too big. And I always tell folks, especially when you're starting new with grants, we start small and then we work our way up. Okay, so keep your project within a manageable format. Okay, all right. Well, that kind of wraps up what we have for week 3. But like I said, at any point you guys have questions, have concerns, or you want to talk about your concept for your proposal, please reach out. I'm in the office quite a bit. I mean, I know the next week will be a little bit busy, but shoot me an email and I'll definitely get back to you and we will set up a time. Okay. So you guys take care and enjoy week 3.